Hey everyone, welcome to Full Send SRT. My name is Caden and today we're going to be going over the all-new Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. Now this Grand Cherokee SRT is a black on black model with the factory black SRT rims. They contrast really nice with the red Brembo brake calipers. As we move to the front of the vehicle, you can see we have the front updated bumper that happened in 2017. We also have the front integrated lip splitter and the front sensor camera. You'll notice that none of the vents on this vehicle are actually fake. All these front vents are actually functional, helping to cool that big, naturally aspirated 6.4 V8 Hemi. Now let's take a look at the engine. Now to release the engine latch, you just put your finger just to the right. And here's, excuse how dirty my engine bay is, but here's the 6.4 liter naturally aspirated V8 Hemi with 475 horsepower and 470 foot-pounds of torque. Now to close the hood, all you have to do is lightly place it down, make sure your fingers aren't stuck in there, and just close it like that. Now, one of my biggest complaints about this vehicle is how similar it actually looks to the Jeep Grand Cherokee Limited X. You know, this vehicle is about $80,000 to $90,000, and the Limited X almost looks the exact same as this vehicle. If you throw some rims, a bumper, and honestly, the Limited X already has the same hood. It actually looks the exact same. Don't get me wrong, I think this vehicle looks really good. Now as we move to the side of the vehicle, just a normal Grand Cherokee, you can notice that all the trim came blacked out. That started to happen in 2018. The 2017 models and before did not have the black trim. As we move to the back, you can see just how thick this vehicle looks from behind. Those tires are nice and thick. We have the SRT logo right on the tow hitch cover, and then we have the dual exhaust. They sound pretty good. As we go up, you can see we have a blacked out SRT logo as well that came factory from the dealership. Now let's talk about the interior and hop inside. So as we move to the interior, you can see we have a leather wrapped SRT steering wheel. This is thicker than any other wheel in any of the other Grand Cherokee models except for the Trackhawk. You can see we also have nice gray stitching around the wheel and 2 paddle shifters on each side. Now we have 3 gauge clusters here. On the left we have our speed, on the middle we have our RPMs and speed, and then on the right we have our fuel and heat level. To change the screen in the middle, you just press the up and down button. It shows you a bunch of different things, diagnostic codes, screen setups. What else do we got here? Key fob battery low, we'll have to replace that one, music off, and just a bunch of other bullshit. Something that I really like on this interior is the carbon fiber trim that goes all the way around the vehicle. I know in previous models the carbon fiber trim did peel off, but in 2017 they completely fixed that issue. Now as we take a look at the seats, you can see we have fully leather wrapped bucket seats with suede inserts. They look really good and they really hug you. We also have SRT embroidered on the seat. And as we take a look to the roof, we have a panoramic sunroof with an Alcantara headliner. We also have the upgraded sound system, Harman Kardon. And then we have a couple different modes on this vehicle as well. We have a launch control button, which you don't see too often in SUVs. We have the track mode, sport mode, auto mode, snow mode, and tow mode. Pretty self-explanatory, but this vehicle has a really nicely designed interior and the exterior looks really nice as well. In my opinion, you know, I don't think there's any vehicle that really compares for the price. We also have a push stop start button that is red, my favorite part. Now, when it comes to the price of the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, there's nothing really else in its class. You know, we could compare it to the likes of the GLE 43 AMG or maybe the BMW X5. I think it's like the X5 3M or something like that. They all have V6s. And I think that's really why you can't compare it, because this vehicle has a 475 horsepower naturally aspirated V8. It goes from 0 to 60 in just 4.4 seconds and can do the quarter mile in around 13. I really think the Jeep SRT is far more iconic than any of its other possible competitors. I don't really think you can compare the Ford Explorer. I think it's the ST with the quad exhaust and 400 horsepower, because you don't really think of Ford when it comes to performance SUVs. When it comes to muscle cars and SUVs, everyone automatically just thinks SRT. Now let's put it in drive. Maybe we'll throw it in sport mode, see how it drives, see how it sounds, and I'll give my final verdict on this vehicle. Now, if you guys enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm always coming out with new content each and every day for you guys, so make sure to hit that subscribe button. Okay, so let's throw it in drive. Let's crank the wheel, make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I got my key, I got my wallet. I got my virginity and let's hit the road. Now right away, when you start driving the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT, you're gonna notice the steering feels very heavy. Now that is because this is a heavy vehicle with a big engine. You know, when you go from, left to right, there is quite the body roll and oversteer. It doesn't drive, perfectly straight. So like when you're changing lanes, for example, take a look at this. I'll signal, of course, but then you really have to crank the wheel to get over into the next lane. It's not that big of a deal. I know with any SUV, you're gonna have some oversteer and body roll. It's just like the Challenger Hellcats and the Charger Hellcats and the SRTs. They're heavy vehicles and the steering will not be perfect. So just take that into consideration before getting a vehicle like this. These vehicles really go fast in a straight line, but honestly for an SUV, this thing does handle fairly well. Now just cruising in auto mode. Auto mode's a perfect cruiser mode. It's just like any of your other luxury SUVs, just like the Range Rover. In auto mode, it's just a regular, smooth cruising luxury SUV. It's like you're in the Summit, the Grand Cherokee Summit, just super luxurious, super relaxing. Take a road trip, pick the kids up from school. But then, once you've picked the kids up from school and you already got groceries, you throw it into sport mode. Now in sport mode, this vehicle comes alive. Right away you'll notice quicker shifts, way tighter steering, and that takes away my biggest complaint of having lots of oversteer. When you put it into sport mode, the steering becomes very precise and this thing handles amazing. Now you'll notice far louder downshifts. This vehicle just becomes way more aggressive and it actually molds to your driving. Now, as you can see by the camera, like I said, the suspension gets way more stiff. You're gonna notice a lot more bumps when you're going over them, and it's gonna become a little bit more harsher of a ride. So I recommend putting it in sport mode, when you have a little bit more smoother of roads, or when you just want the vehicle to come to life. Now I'm gonna hop on the highway. I'm gonna do a quick little pull for you guys, just so you can see how it sounds, how it drives, and whatnot. So let me hit the highway and I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to be taking a sharp corner. I'll show you guys exactly how it handles and see the body roll that this vehicle has. And I'm going to put it on the straightaway and I'm going to show you the acceleration. There's also a BMW M3 in front of me, so let's see if he wants some smoke. Okay, so on the roundabout going into the corner, this vehicle handles so well for a 6,000 pound SUV. We're doing it at about 60 and it really handles well. So straight away here. Man, this thing flies, and honestly, like, for an SUV, this is the perfect daily driver. There's nothing that really compares. You could go for a Range Rover Sport or maybe BMW X5, but then you're upwards of $120,000, $130,000, and this vehicle rated at $80,000-$90,000 price point is definitely the sweet spot. Okay, so we threw it into manual mode. We'll get some more sounds as we downshift. I apologize for the shaky camera. This road's super rough, but this vehicle handles so well. And honestly, for not having a dual clutch, oh man, that is some quick shifts, honestly. I had a C63 AMG, a 2009, the W204 model, and the shifts weren't even close to as quick as this thing. Oh yeah, honestly, this is honestly one of the best SUVs, best bang for your buck on sale today. If you guys are on the edge about getting a Grand Cherokee SRT, don't even think any longer, go out and get one right now. Now I live in Canada and the conditions get really snowy here in the winter time for about 7 months out of the year, making this the absolute perfect vehicle for where I live. Now, if you guys have snow or you have summer all year around, that's still okay because this vehicle is pretty much a sports car in an SUV. But if you have snowy conditions, this vehicle can handle the snowy conditions. It can plow through snow. We get like 40 feet of snow every year, and this vehicle handles it no problem. I have Hack-Up Toledo 9 SUV studded tires for this vehicle. That makes it handle even better, and it can even hook up right away in the snow. There's also a reason why this vehicle has a snow mode as well. It's meant for these off-road scenarios, and it's a Jeep. When you talk about Jeeps, you automatically think Wrangler and you think off-road. So, you know, with Jeep's engineering, they've really made this vehicle into a sporty Wrangler, except way nicer to drive. I don't really like the Wrangler. We got rid of ours after about 2 months of ownership. The only other vehicle that is similar would be the Trackhawk, just with, you know, a couple hundred horsepower more. But I know some of you may not like having 700 horsepower in an SUV, and you know, it could be scary at times for you guys, so this is the perfect middle ground if you want something still sane but still very fun to drive, and also very reliable. This vehicle has not given me a single issue in, you know, the 3 years that I've owned it, and it's been an amazing SUV. So guys, if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button. It really helps the channel out. That's gonna do it for the Jeep Grand Cherokee SRT. So like I said, if you guys are thinking about getting one, I honestly really recommend this vehicle. One of my most favorite vehicles ever. The unfortunate thing is you can't actually order one brand new anymore. I tried to order a 2021 Trackhawk, and when we pulled up the screen, the order screen, you could not place a single order for a 21 Trackhawk or a 21 Grand Cherokee SRT. So you might have to find one that's already on the lot, or maybe a used one, but make sure you find a really reliable used one that hasn't been bagged. Well, like I said, if you enjoyed today's video, smash that like button. We'll see you guys in the next one. Full Send SRT signing off. Peace.